Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 52 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Just giving you an FYI. Went ahead and threw a second mana spreader up here. It just helps to empty this one that much faster, and it's kind of cool. Just little tweaks and changes that I'm doing to this little system that I set up last episode. It's actually doing a really good job. I've been kind of semi-monitoring it between episodes here, and so far, so good. Again, as soon as that mana pool empties out, which we'll see, there we go, boom. Like the moment it empties, it immediately drops another piece of food. It actually kind of unintentionally works out that way because the way the sequencer is set up is it's the first set of dots that are enabled there, and then the logic gates here kind of cause it to reset when it receives that redstone signal. So like it actually works quite perfectly. So that's an exciting development. So basically the moment that mana pool empties, they drop some more food and they start doing more cool stuff. All right, so I want to take a break from Britannia for a few minutes. We've been spending a little time on it. I want to upgrade this dude down here to a second tier of void ore mining because it's about time that we take a look at doing that. I mean, we've got so much stuff down here, and I'm not even processing it, that like I don't even know what to do with it at all. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how to even handle how much like good stuff we've got. I guess storage might eventually become an issue here, so like I might want to keep an eye on like what kind of good stuff I got and make sure everything's, you know, being appropriately handled with regards to storage disks. One thing I might want to do, just to have a handle on like what is up, what I could get, if I really wanted to, there's the portable grid, so that's a thing. And I think what that does, I want to try making one of these. Portable grid, huh? So it needs a controller. So I'm going to want like that, and I'm going to want a machine casing. Cool. And then a grid. So we're going to want one of these, basically. So for that, we're going to want another casing. And then we're going to want, I think it's two of these, one of these, and one of these. Right? And then we can get a grid out of that. Almost. Sort of, maybe, kind of. There's those two things. 1, 2. Cool. So you can make a portable grid, I think. And that might be a neat thing to check out. So if I hold you there. So I think what this can do, so you can place it in the world to interact with it, but it's also capable of, what I'm going to do is like steal this disk. If I right click it and put the disk in there, we can see what's actually stored on that disk. So we have an idea of what's taking up all of our inventory spots. So for example, we've got like 2.7k stone and a bunch of basalt as well. So I might want to consider figuring out like what I have lots of using this portable grid. So like we've got a lot of beetroot and seeds, like those things clearly aren't going into anything over here, I guess. So I should really think about using this as a method of like figuring out what we have a lot of, right? And then we can clean up some of these disks if I want. It's probably not even that big a deal. Wow, did I just get like the same thing again, or do they just both have a lot of beetroot and seeds on them? I think that's definitely it. We've got a lot of beetroot and netherwort. Really? Netherwort? Oh, you know what? I don't have a void upgrade on there. Well, there's your problem. I don't have a void upgrade on my netherwort. I'm sure one of you guys pointed that out to me. So beetroot and netherwort are definitely a couple of things that we're going to need to organize a little bit. Cool. Just trying to like figure, wow, I do have a lot of beetroot and cactus. Cactus must be another one. Yeah. Let's like go through and take out, so netherwort, beetroot, seeds, cactus, rice. I kind of like having a lot of solidified experiences. Sugarcane, I really don't have a lot of sugarcane in here. Wheat, I must have had wheat. Didn't I have wheat? I guess I don't have wheat. I don't have wheat in this thing either. Come on, Derp. Get with the program. What else? Seeds, I guess. Rice seeds. I think that all sounds fair, right? So what I can do then is remove you And I wonder how much I can reclaim here. So, like, first things first, I want to, like, fix some of my drawers. Part of me wants to upgrade anything that's a drawer to have, like, compacting drawers where appropriate. And I guess what I should also do is smooth stone is kind of a problem, though not a huge one up here. Because, like, we've got smooth stone going on down here, and, you know. So what I could do is something similar to this, where I've got that priority thing that's, like, one drop below that one. And that kind of, you know, like, this is priority 10, the way this is set up, and this is priority 9. So any sandstone, sand, and glass that goes into the system first tries to go into that one, which is not voiding, and then it goes into this one, which is. So it doesn't, like, keep an overabundance of stuff. I might do something similar with stone. So that might be something to consider. So maybe we'll get a drawer 2x2x2. Does that sound cool? I suspect my drawer key is in here. Good. We'll lock you. We'll put some... so this is kind of like a bag, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed that. We can put, like, some stone in here in one of these slots. And then we'll get an external storage dude that's set to number 9, right? Priority 9. Insert extract. And then we'll throw a void upgrade in it. So speaking of void upgrades, we're going to want a couple of those. Are you done yet? You are. Nice. So you'll go in there. Priority will be 9. Cool. Now, did I filter you? No, I don't need to. So you're priority 9. So you'll basically, any and all stone that we get will try to go in there and eventually get voided. Cool. Voided. Now for drawers, right? Basically I want, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drawers. Let me think about reorganizing my drawer system down here a sec. I'll be right back. So I think what I'll do is you and you, and let's get some stuff in here. So I'll put these 4 here, right? So maybe I'll do like beetroot and beetroot seeds and wheat and seeds and rice seeds and cactus and sugarcane, even though they aren't actually seeds. I'm gonna throw, so these guys can store basically a quarter of what, so that's 8 stacks per drawer. This can hold 32 stacks, right? So if we wanted to, we could throw gold upgrades in this, would be 64 stacks per drawer, and that would be a little better. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll void upgrade them as well. So that'll hopefully clean up a lot of the mess that's in my system. Let's just make sure there's nothing else. So that takes care of stone, and it takes care of wheat and rice. It takes care of a lot of this stuff. Now we also have a lot of basalt, limestone, and marble going on. So we might want to look at organizing that a little bit. Do we have anything over here for that? Basalt, limestone, and marble? Probably not. So maybe basalt, limestone, and marble. Is there anything else we need to worry about with this stuff? I don't think so. Marble, limestone, nothing really. I think this will clean up my system quite a bit. So let's get some drawers here. We'll probably want, what is it, 3 that I grabbed? Basalt, limestone, and marble. 1, 2, 3. And you can go here, here, and here. And I'll probably wind up throwing iron upgrades in these guys with the void upgrades. I also have a couple diamond upgrades I made, but I actually don't know if I'm actually going to use them. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, cool. All right, I'm going to run this stuff through here real quick, and we'll see how much. So right now we're using 71K worth of storage. Let's see what that comes out to when I'm done cleaning up with drawers. So another thing I decided to do, by the way, is upgrade my refined storage disks to 64K storage disks. So I requested 2 of them. They're not terrible to make. 64K discs pretty much just require 3 16s and some diamond processors, so no big deal. I think we're at the point where we can manage that. So what I'm going to do is get 2 64s in here to make up for all the... I mean, frankly, 164 would cover all this stuff, and we should be fine. But we'll get a second one in there, and then that'll be... So, by the way, there is a higher tier. Like, there's a 128K fluid storage disk. Wasn't there one for... I thought there was. You turn into a 256K storage part, and a 1024, and a 4096. Those things are all part of Reborn storage. And a, wow, 16384 Reborns, that's a lot. That's a lot of crazy shenanigans going on right there. It just goes crazy. That's nuts. That's Reborn storage, that's that stuff. But it's all good. How are you doing? Did you finish soldering? Cool. Did you get me my 64Ks? Nice. So what I'm going to do is take this disk out of here. We'll put our 2 64s in there. And basically, real quick, I'm going to in and out these 3 dudes. So that's going to, like, really quickly, hopefully, clear out all my stuff. Now, my refined storage system has none of its stuff right now that's in these disks, but that's okay. It'll clear them all out and wind up dumping them all into 64K disks. And it'll also dump everything out appropriately into these 2 drawers, which will eventually fill up and start voiding. Nice. All right, so what was it? 71,000-ish items that were stored across these different storage disks. So we are now down to, actually stored on a refined storage system, now that I've properly organized my drawers, 17K. We literally almost inverted the number. So like a quarter, like less than a quarter. So like 75% of the disks storage went into those drawers. That's shenanigans. Also, by the way, cool pro tip, I forget if it's clicking them or something, but I think you can shift right click to remove your 16K storage parts out of here. So if you do that, you've got 6 16K storage parts. So if I wanted to, I could make 2 more of these because it needs 6 16K storage parts to make 2. It's 3 per storage disk. So just by doing that, for a really cheap cost of a few diamonds, we will rapidly put together what we need to get, which is pretty slick. Nice. So I can put this all away, and then I got 2 more 64K discs. So now we've got way more storage than we had before. And on top of that, we've properly organized our disk manipulator. Sweet. So now we can hold a total of 256,000 items in there. We're only using 18,000. So we're good. And the reason I wanted to organize that is that I knew I was about to be getting a huge influx of items, and I wanted to be prepared for it. So I think the next thing I want to do is make sure I'm prepared to hold a lot of the items we're about to get. So like this thing, unfortunately, like the tooltip that I have doesn't tell me how much it can potentially hold, but I think I might want to get a few more upgrades for these guys. I'm not sure which one. Maybe the gold upgrades I'll put in each one of my like high resources. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 16. Okay, so 21 gold upgrades might be a good idea. Does that sound cool? What I think I'll do, I'll teach you how to make this, and then I'll just request 21, and that'll be cool. So I want to make sure that we can hold a lot of the resources that we're getting before we start voiding them. Because at some point, you know, we may need a lot more, and that'll be fun to make. You're not being derpy about anything, right? No, you're just making a bunch of other stuff. Cool. Prerequisites and whatnot. So, there we go, 21 of you. So let's just go down the line, right? Pretty much every resource that we could be void mining up right now, I want to make sure... Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. And everything else is covered by my... All right, so that's all good, and that's all good. Nice. So now we have plenty of room for that stuff. So the next task, what I think I'll make... Let's get another crate here. And what I'm also going to make is a storage crate keeper. Cool. And that'll allow me to pick this up and move it. So what I'm going to do is break my Void Ore Miner controller, right? So we've got all this good stuff in here. And I want to make sure I go down the line of all these things that need to be processed and make sure that they're like, we handle metals already, no problem, right? So ores are taken care of, but things like coal and nether quartz and redstone and diamonds and emeralds and some of this other resources that we're not processing right now, I want to set up processing for in my compact machine that is built for processing. So I'm going to break this in preparation for making the Void Ore Miner Mark II. I'm going to have to break down this entire multi-block structure. And then I also want to storage crate keeper this thing. So I'm going to pop this dude in here so I can pick this up. Nice. And be ready to roll. So let's move our key into here. I probably don't even want to the forest at the moment. And I'm going to put my portable grid away even. So that should all be cool. And I can probably put my magnet ring back on. I'm going to mine up all this stuff that we don't need at the moment. In preparation for the old, I'm going to get tier 2 of this up and running. And then once I've got tier 2 up and running, then we'll work on the processing of it. Ow, what's down here? Hey. Evil, mean, nasty. Alright, so let's pick up all this stuff. I'm going to make the tier 2, and then we're going to figure out what we need to do to get tier 2 up and running. Because basically I won't know how many of each item I need to make until I place the tier 2 in the world and click it. Okay. So let's... First off, I should probably have not placed down my storage crate yet, but let's get out our Erodium and Litherium crystals, right? And then we'll get our storage crate keeper and make sure he's in there for the next move. Not that it's expensive to make one of these, but you know. So I'll put this stuff in here. It doesn't need a drawer, right? And then I want to upgrade you, so I'm going to need 6 Erodium, basically. Okay, so... And that leaves me with 60 Erodium, right? Now, I don't know exactly... It's not going to tell me how many of each resource I need until I place it. So hopefully... But I'm definitely going to need some tier 2 structure frames. And hopefully it's going to be less than 30? Because if it's more than 30, I don't have enough Erodium crystal to do it. Maybe I should look that up. So, funny story. Is this thing built? I took all the resources out, so that's a good sign. I guess we'll find out in a minute when I place a crate here, and we'll start hitting you and see what happens. Yeah, it's working. Funny story. You need 32 tier 2 structure frames, right? So a tier 2 structure frame needs 2 Erodium, which means we need 64 Erodium crystal, and we have 61. So I'm literally short 3 Erodium crystal before I can do this. So back in like 1 minute, probably hitting this for about a minute, should get me those 3. And I figured, why don't I do some experimentation a little bit? So I'm going to get a multimeter here, which should be able to tell me how much power is flowing into this dude. So can I do that? Current level. So I can't click it there. So it looks like using around 5-second average level, 5-second average in out is around 1270 RF a tick. Does that sound about right? So yeah, let's mark down 1250 RF a tick. That seems fair. All right, cool. So we got our stuff. Let's clean this up. All right, so I'm teaching structure frames to this dude. Tier 2s. We already know how to make tier 1s. So let's upgrade this guy to a Void Ore Miner Mark II, right? So Void Ore Miner Mark II. When I place him on the ground, there should be a way to tell. You know what? I think it was left click. There we go. Hello. All right, so required blocks. Oh, required blocks next tier. That's a thing. Nice. All right, so for future reference, you can find out what the next tier blocks are, as well as the current tier blocks. Was that in before? I feel like it wasn't. I don't know. Let's pick it up. Cool. So required blocks. Hello, why did you clear? Okay. So 32 structures and 16 structure panels. So we've already got 14 structure panels. So let's get 2 more of these. Shouldn't be a problem. Boom, boom. I'm going to put these in here, and then I'm going to ask for 32 of these, which shouldn't be too big of a problem either. So start that bad boy. So see, it's using up the structure tier 1s that we've already got and getting more. And now it's making new ones to go, right? So there you go. So 31, 32. Cool. And then 16 structure panels. So we need 4 modifiers and 3 laser cores. So I'm going to need another laser core. I don't know if I taught this. Did I teach this? Oh, I did. Nice. Cool. Go me. And then modifiers. Now, we could make null modifiers if we wanted. So I think I should teach you how to make modifiers. And for now, I'm also going to teach you how to make speed modifiers, which sound pretty nice. And now you need to know how to... Oh, you need mica. You need mica for speed modifiers. Good to know. I'm almost certain that we have 0 mica. Right. In order to get mica, we're going to need resource miners. Good to know. All right, so speed modifiers aren't happening yet. Should have considered that. Kind of knew that already, but that's okay. But we can use null modifiers, and it said we needed 4 of those, right? So we'll start that bad boy up. And that will do all its crafting and behind the scenes and fidgeting and whatnot. And that should be tier 4. Nice. All right, cool. So that should be everything we need to get this tier 2 void ore miner up and running. Nice. Now, I don't know what kind of sizing we need for this, so I'm going to clear out a little bit of extra space. Just in preparation for the potentiality that this might be large. Somewhat large. But go ahead and build that bad boy out. So you up and running now? Is that the full multi-block? It looks like it. So if I've got nothing left in my inventory, then we're cool, right? And if I throw a small storage crate on this bad boy, we will also be cool. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom, it's working. Nice. So that thing's going to be faster than the previous version, even without speed upgrades on it. And then we're going to probably want speed upgrades. But that's also going to more quickly. So that's going to do 2 things. First off, it's going to get me things more quickly, including Erodium. But it's also going to get me the next tier of crystal, which is Chironite crystal, which is going to be needed for tier 3 miners. Sweet. All right, cool. So I'm going to just speed that up for a second. Wow, it holds a nice 2 million RF in its internal. And even with its so here's an interesting thing. When I'm holding right click on it, it's not overflowing its internal buffer. So is it possible that tier 2 uses less power without speed upgrades than tier 1 did? Because that would be a thing. That would be a very interesting thing. I guess the multimeter will tell us. So it was 1250 before, right? Interesting. It does seem to be a little less power required. Neat. I'll take it. Cool. So you're doing a great job pulling up all kinds of good stuff, including the new type of thing, Chironite. Might want to look at doing a void resource miner soon. But before I do that, I want to get this guy equipped to handle all the resources that you need to handle. So right now, I'm pretty sure nickel's excluded from this list. Correct. So nickel ore is not in this list. What I'm probably going to want to have is another export bus. Actually, you don't have to be broken. Because we do have this thing right here. And technically I could have well, I don't know if I could have both in the same block. But we'll figure it out if we do. So that's cool. I could always have it somewhere else, maybe. So you're going to export I don't know if it's called nickel, but it's basically nickel. Yeah, it's nickel. So you export nickel ore for me, which should be doing a nice job. And if we go into our compact machine with the personal shrinking device, nickel should be getting processed, no problem, right? Beautifully. I like it. And you've got your speed augments and doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. And you're only accepting gold and platinum, remember, because that's what we want extras of. So let's go look at... Why are there structure panels here? Oh. Haha. Right, because I had placed my thing there as like a test, and I was clicking on it, and I had the things in my inventory. What was that weird noise? Oh. So, looks like we had some extra structure panels. Okay, there's definitely a monster outside my base. There he is. Alright, so next thing. Let's process ores. You, sir. So let's get the ores that we need to process. So coal, quartz, redstone, lapis. These are all things that need to be processed, right? All these other things should already be being processed. Glowstone can just stay. We don't need to actually process that. Diamond, yes. Lead, apatite? I guess apatite could be processed. Mana infused, I don't even know what to do with that. So we're going to hold off on that. I don't know that mana infused, like, is really used for anything. If we ever get to the point where we figure out what we can use mana infused ore for, I don't think there's any actual use for it yet. I think it's like kind of a placeholder ore. So for now, we won't process it. Yellowite, I'm not going to process yet. But maybe at some point. Amber ore, no. Draconium ore, I don't think I'm processing. That I could at least just pulverize. Because we do want to have some of the dust. But I'll hold off on that for now. Cobalt, I'll hold off on. Resonating, we'll hold off. Certus quartz, I can hold off on. Iridium, I don't know if these are ore dictionaried with, you know, the other iridium, but we'll find out. Certus quartz, I'll hold off on. Destabilized redstone emerald, I'll do. Dimensional shard ore is kind of a nice thing to have. Resonant endstone we're getting. That's neat. And oil, shale, and sand. That might be cool for stuff later on. I think that's enough for now, because that's literally 8 inventory slots, which perfectly matches up to the 8 slots that we have available here. Okay? So I guess the next stage of this would be to make sure that those 8... Let's go inside this machine. Which... filters did I put on you? I put hardened. I'm probably going to need to upgrade these to be better filters. Because what I'm going to want to do is have some kind of machine that's meant to process these, and we're going to have to filter it so that, like, emerald, for example, doesn't make its way into any of these pulverizers. We'll want it to go into a different pulverizer. All right, let's see if I've done everything right ahead of time. If I've gotten everything I need and didn't forget anything, that would be borderline a miracle. But we'll see how right I am. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert from the top and extract, or insert from the bottom, extract up the top. Okay. And out the top, we're going to be routing our signalum plated impulse item ducts. Now I'm going to disconnect you just for visuals. Was there a reason that we needed to harden servo this? There was something funny with servos, wasn't there? Should I get a few hardened servos just to be safe? I'm thinking the answer should be yes. Let's get a few servos just to be safe. So I remember there was something funny. I don't know if it was because it was in another dimension. So I didn't get everything I needed, but I think because I assumed I wouldn't need them. And the reason I assumed I wouldn't need them is because I probably shouldn't need them, except that there might be something funny going on. But I remember for some reason I needed servos. So we'll see if I forgot anything else. Let's put it that way. So servos we'll put in here, and basically you will be set to extract always active. Anything. Now on the bottom here, we want to have impulse item ducts as well. And I kind of forgot this. So I made it. I just didn't bring it with me. Does that count as forgetting? I don't think that counts as forgetting. I think I totally made what I wanted to make, but... So for now, we'll do that, right? And here's what I'm going to do. You are going to be... all these need to be augmented. Boom, 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 which means they're all going to be getting more power. You're going to be augmented with a tectonic initiator, and I'll bring up the speed upgrades in a bit. Okay? Then I'm going to get fluid ducts, and we're going to have a little bit of dire wire here, I ain't going to lie. But I'm going to... I wonder... Do I have to put blue? I'm going to put blue. And then we'll put our hardened fluid ducts. So this is going to get a little dire wiry, just as a warning. Okay. And then you're going to output. So technically that side? Oh yeah, hello. Boom. Nice. Okay, so you're going to tectonically initiate. So here's the deal, right? Diamonds, for example. I can totally pulverize them, and for every diamond, I'll get 2. However, I can also tectonic initiator diamonds into 3. So rare things that I want a lot of. For example, whitelisting, we will do diamond ore and emerald ore, and dimensional shards don't seem to have a thing that we can do anything with. So maybe dimensional shard ore won't even be in this list. So I'm going to... See you later, dimensional shard ore. So that apatite, lapis, redstone, nether quartz, coal. I don't know that I need to worry about all that much, right? Like diamonds and emeralds are rare enough that I'm going to want to do that. Everything else, like nether quartz, the pulverizer is getting me 3 as it is, right? I can tectonically initiate it up to 4, but I ain't that worried. So I'm going to stick with that. So you're going to whitelist diamonds and emeralds, right? So these are my tectonically initiated ores up at the top, right? Then you, 2, 3, will be everything else. So apatite, lapis, redstone, quartz, and that. Okay, so you guys are whitelisting this stuff, right? Whitelist, whitelist. Nice. Click and drag works beautifully, actually. So you whitelist all those things, and you whitelist these 2, right? So only emeralds and diamonds will be allowed in here, and all this stuff will be allowed in here. Now, for you, you've been blacklisting platinum and gold. You're going to be swapped out such that you will still blacklist gold and platinum, but you're also going to blacklist all these ores and these guys, right? So basically, this line of ores will also be blacklisted. Boom. Okay, so that you will get anything that's not gold mana infused. You should not have been mana infused. You should have been platinum. Hold on. You were supposed to be platinum, not mana infused. My bad. Mana infused, you were supposed to be platinum ore. I grabbed something. So you are going to be not mana infused, but platinum ore, right? Platinum ore. Cool. All right, so basically all these things get blacklisted on this. So the only thing that's allowed to go in here is anything that's not diamond, emerald, coal, nether quartz, right? And then you will be removed, have that placed on, and basically all these things are blacklisted, right? You're removed, have this put on, and all these things are blacklisted. So now that should be cool. And you can stick with your whitelist platinum and gold because that's the only thing that's allowed in there right now. Cool. So that should be good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my impulse item duct here, and that should, in theory, be good. The last thing I'm going to do is make sure that this thing is exporting those appropriate items through this thing. So you're already doing nickel, now you just need to do all these guys, right? And now nothing should really, maybe some coal. All right, that doesn't sound so bad, right? So if we pop into this thing, what we should see is basically coal ore making its way into this guy and doing some processing. Not too shabby. All right, nice. I don't know how much coal ore we have stored inside that doohickey. Do we have a lot of coal ore sitting in here that I didn't know about? A little bit more. Do we have any other ores that need to be processed? We shouldn't have too many. No, nothing else really. So that should be done with its current emptying. Right, cool. That's what I wanted to see. Let's get some augments. So we're going to need about a dozen? Sounds about right. I think it's a dozen minus 1. But we'll bring a dozen with us just to have them all. So now let's just test this whole thing, right? So basically you need some augments. You need as many as you can get, you need as many as you can get, and you need as many as you can get, and that should be cool. Right, we'll put the excesses away. So now you all are getting your power, and you're doing a good job processing. So we already know that coal is going to work pretty well. Let's test nether quartz, and redstone, and lapis. I probably shouldn't have done stacks, but whatever. So notice how none of that is going into any of these guys, right? And that's kind of doing a great job. And it's even a little bit doing some cool stuff. Nice. You should be ignored. Are you being funny? Why you no extract sulfur? And nether quartz. There's literally no reason that you shouldn't be extracting this stuff. Well, there is a reason that you might not be extracting it. It's a reason that's nonsensical, but it does exist. The only other reason that I can imagine that not wanting to extract is if this thing's... No, he's not full. So why wouldn't you extract that? Oh, hello. It just went. Nice. Okay, cool. Magically, it started working. Neat. I'll have to keep an eye on it to make sure that doesn't happen again, but you guys get the gist, right? So it's going to extract all that stuff. So lapis made its way in here now. That's kind of cool. Why would you back stuff like that? You really shouldn't be having any problems. Yeah, you're bouncing back a little bit. What's up with that? Because you should be going out the back here and not having any problems doing that. Yeah, interesting, right? You should just be shooting out the back and there should be no issues there. Interesting that there would be some bounce back. I don't know why that would happen. That shouldn't happen, but it seems like it. Now what we could do is maybe... Isn't there a prevent oversending kind of thing here? Maybe not. Yeah, you're bouncing back some stuffs. Keeping an eye on this for a sec. I'll be right back when I figure out why that might be happening. So in the interest of doing like a little bit of testing here, I'm going to remove all these pipes and I'm going to stick an interface on this guy so that any items will be allowed to bounce out of here and we'll see what happens. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Stack and speed upgrade. I constantly make that mistake and it's embarrassing. So let's hop into you. Oh, you're all done doing stuff, so that makes sense. All right, so let's do... I'm just curious if this will make things better for us, right? So the next set of things we're going to want to test is apatite and diamond, right? And then diamond should wind up in this guy, and apatite should probably wind up in the nearest, right? And we'll also test coal while we're in here, just because I have it on me. Cool, so diamonds are going in there. And you're still doing a bad job of extracting that stuff. It eventually goes, but like it's bouncing back. It's not a huge deal. So it eventually goes, it's just a weird little bounce back that's occurring. And it just might be like a miscommunication between one dimension and the next, trying to figure out if like this guy's overfilled or not. Like it just doesn't realize that, yeah, there's room in this inventory. It's okay, don't worry about it, just go. Right? Somewhere along the line, that's being just a little bit funny. Okay, so that might be part of the issue. Now there's like nothing else there that's connecting, right? So it's just like some redstone conduiting that helps it with power. So yeah, we shouldn't be seeing any other bounce backs, right? Now if we were to throw emeralds in here, emeralds wouldn't show up until this diamond ore is processed, right? And then we could also throw these guys in, and they should wind up going to the appropriate slot. So now we've got ore processing for both things like coal and diamonds and emeralds and all that other stuff, and eventually it filters out. It's just being a little bit funny with its slowness, right? So you're coming in there with that, and then once your diamonds are processed, we can teleport out here and see that emeralds are basically waiting to go in, right? They should be in this inventory. Yeah, waiting to go. Nice. All right, so it's working. I'm just not 100% sure about that like weird backstuffing issue that we're seeing. But maybe it's just a little bit of weirdness. It does work, it just, for whatever reason, gets stuck for a little bit. It seems like only one of these machines is allowed to send at a time. So this thing's like waiting to send. And once this one's done, like for example, if I do that, this one should start going. Or this one. Yeah, see, they both started going. Neat, right? So I don't know why that's happening, but it's definitely weird. And look, there goes the emerald ore. Nice. So that's spiffy. So what I'm going to do between episodes is basically throw an import bus on the crate that we have upstairs and let it process all these ores, right? And pretty much anything that it can't process, it'll deal with. And we'll come back next episode and see how it made out. For now, Devil20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.